Development. This program is brought to you by Success Waymarks Foundation in collaboration with the Department of Public Health, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba, Nigeria. Success Waymarks Foundation is a registered non-governmental organization operating in Nigeria and Canada with a mission centered on empowering girls and women through education, mentorship, and leadership development initiatives. Its vision is to empower and educate Nigerian youth, especially females, in the STEM fields by mentoring and providing academic training towards their development and attaining a leadership position. Success Waymarks Foundation is also passionate about supporting the education of less privileged children in the rural area of Nigeria. They have impacted over 5,000 students across Africa and Canada. Now, for the brain behind that wonderful foundation, we have Dr. Grace Oluwadebi. She is the founder of Success Waymarks Foundations Incorporated. She's a geoscientist and project management professional with over 15 years of combined academic and industry experience. She holds a PhD in petroleum geosciences from the University of Manchester and a Master of Science in Geoinformation Sciences and Earth Observation from the University of Twente, Netherlands, and a Bachelor of Science in Geology from the University of Ilorin, Nigeria. Dr. Grace Oluwadebi's academic career includes serving as a lecturer at Osun State University in Nigeria and as a researcher at the University of Manchester, UK. She has also built a strong industry experience working as a geo-environmental consultant at UA Antia in the United Kingdom and as a project consultant at KPMG Canada, where she manages complex and high-impact projects. She's a recipient of several prestigious international awards, including the Schlumberger Faculty for the Future Fellowships and the Netherlands Fellowship Program and the TET Fund Grant. She's also a member of Graduate Women International. A passionate advocate for STEM education, Dr. Oluwadebi has mentored over 5,000 students across Africa and continues to inspire and support the next generation of scientists and innovators. She is also deeply committed to women's empowerment, championing initiatives that promote education, leadership, and opportunities for women and girls. Let's listen as she gives us the opening remarks.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction, Esesa. Can I just confirm from our audience that we can all hear us, especially from Adekunle Ajasin School? Any thumbs up or just a confirmation that we are all together in a good page? Dr. Oni, can they hear us there?
Sorry, we can hear you. We're muted.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Fine. Just for that confirmation. Thank you, Esesa, once again. Yeah. So can we just have a word of prayer as we commit the programming to God? Our Father and our God, I want to thank you, Lord, for this morning or this afternoon, for the privilege to come together, even to learn from this awesome program. We are praying, Lord, that you help us, everyone today, including the hearer, oh God, and the speaker, that the word that will be spoken today, oh God, will inspire all our students, that through this meeting, someone will have a positive attitude towards life and we have something unique taken out. It will not be a waste of time in the name of Jesus. Pray, Lord, we pray that the Spirit of God will take control of the network and everything will work out fine in Jesus' name. Thank you, blessed Father, for in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I want to say good morning. Most of us are from the world area. We're in the morning. And good afternoon to you over there in Nigeria. It's a very warm pleasure to have you in this program, Career Empowerment webinar for today at Success Waymarks Foundation. Just as we have heard from the introduction, we organize programs like this, and we are happy to partner with Adekunle Ajasin University on this particular program with the team Empowering Future Professionals, Pathway to Career Fulfillment. And we have our professionals on grant today as speakers who have passed through your stage. They have a well experience in whatever you might be going through. So you can be assured that you have a complete package today. You will have the time also to ask your question. So I just want to encourage us that you're not alone. We've got people who have gone over that bridge before, which you can lean on. And from there, you can learn something to make your own future to become better. So because we've taken much of time, I don't have much word to say. I'll leave our speakers who are in your field. I'm a geoscientist, but I'm just being privileged to put this program together. So, but we have professionals in your field that you can relate with, and they will be sharing their journey and experience. And I want us to be very attentive, like I said, so that it won't be a waste of time, so that you gain something from this program. And like I said, I'm very sure that at the end of the program or the meeting, you'll be happy that, oh, I attended that program. So that is the goal for today. If you have your jotter, try to jot things out. We'll have the privilege to meet the speakers after the program as well. They will be able to share their social medias accounts. You can follow them if you have more questions or you want any of them to be your mentor and things like that. And other information about the NGO also, we're going to post it on the chat before we drop out. So I wish you all a happy listening and a very wonderful, inspiring time today. So yeah, I'll hand over back to Rita Esosa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lua Debbie. For our first presentation today, we have Dr. Joy Onwunde. She's an environmental scientist and project manager with over a decade of experience in environmental consulting, contaminated site assessment, and regulatory compliance across Canada and internationally. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Zoology and a Master of Science in Environmental Toxicology and a pollution management, both from the University of Lagos, and a PhD in environmental biology from the University of Abuja. Joy has led complex projects involving environmental assessments, monitoring, remediation, and sustainability, combining strong technical expertise with effective project leadership. She's passionate about professional growth and impact driven careers and brings practical insights on navigating multidisciplinary paths towards career fulfillment. Please let's welcome her as she gives us our first presentation.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Esosa, for that wonderful introduction. It's been long someone introduced me as Joy Onwude. Usually I'll hear Joy Onwood, and I'm like, no, my name is Onwude. But yeah, people over here are not used to pronouncing my name. So yeah, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be here and give this very brief talk on some pathways to career fulfillment aimed at inspiring you guys over there to build meaningful careers irrespective of this course of study. I don't know if you're seeing my screen. Okay, yeah.
Okay, should I share for you or are you sharing?
No, it's fine. Thank you so much. You can just, yeah, have it rolling for me. So next slide. Please, in any case where you can't hear me, especially for the people in Lagos, Dr. Remy, just leave a comment in the chat, and then Esosa or Dr. Grace can let me know. So yeah, I will be sharing my experience with you all, and we'll explore how my career journey evolved. I had a first degree in zoology. I'll share my challenges, my uncertainties, the ones I faced, and how I was able to transition to the environmental science field and all the lessons I learned along the way. And then you understand why it's really important to stay adaptable and how you can position yourself to actually take advantage of the opportunities that may evolve. So now it doesn't matter whether you are in 100 level or in 400 level, it's it's really nice because you get practical insights on how to actively shape your path. Next slide, please. So yeah, my first degree was in zoology. And obviously, like many of you, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Okay. So zoology was not my first choice, really. Who on earth would choose zoology as their first choice? Definitely not me. But in my set, there were two people. So when the merit list came out, I actually did seed medicine, but perhaps I didn't meet my score. My score didn't meet the cutoff mark. I can hear some echo. I really don't know. Okay. Or maybe because of catchment allocation issue, I didn't get in. And then I had like two friends back home who had gotten their admission in Benedict University, and one of them asked me that, Joy, what exactly are you going to do? I I didn't want to stay at home. I was sad, really. But I mean, fast forward, I applied for a change of course, and I got into school to read zoology. I was happy as in atolato, 9 bad pass, but I was also very insecure. Like, what is zoology really? Am I? That is a study of animals. I don't even really like animals. I don't really like pets, and like I was just really feeling very sad eventually and very um unsecure. Because of that, I had some uncertainties. When I travel, so I got admission in the University of Lagos, and when anytime I travel back home and people see me, they'll be like, "Oh, Joy, congrats! I heard you're now in school. What course are you reading?" And then I'll say zoology, and the next thing they'll be like is, "Oh, that's not bad. Maybe you can do another course later." And then some people would say, "So it means you're going to be like a biology teacher in." In secondary school, or maybe you work in a zoo, something like that. So I really had concerns that zoology careers do not pay well. I had concerns about limited job availability. Sorry, just to check in on Dr. Grace, I'm not really seeing my
Yeah,
slides.
please, if you can share from your hand, I don't. I'm so sorry. It's not just running from my hand again.
Okay, maybe I can just continue the
We are
screen
Yeah, I
good
will
sharing.
here.
bring it up.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So for me, one annoying thing was when I was in 100 level, the number of courses I had to take, you hear FSC 101, FSC 102, FSC 103, ZY 101, ZY 102, BTN, it was too much. Biology, ecology, genetics, statistics, you have to do everything. And then you have to also take courses with medical students. And then I'll be thinking, like, this is the same on top of zoology. So I'm actually having courses with people reading medicine and surgery. So the courses were so demanding for me, and I was so unhappy because I was like, did I really make the right choice? So I really don't know if anybody there has felt that way or if you're feeling that way, but just know that it's a normal feeling to have. Feeling of, okay, I can see my slides now. Feeling of doubts, feeling of confusion, of pressure, feeling of uncertainty, questioning your degree because, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so because of that mindset I have, next slide, please. I was struggling in year one. I really struggled because I thought I was smart, but year one, because I didn't really like my course, I struggled. And then at the end of year one, I was on a GPA of 2.34. That was the third class. And then I had to think to myself, at this rate I'm going, I may not even be able to make a 2-2. So in 200 level, I tried harder. I was persevering. I was just trying to at least not get an F. But it was in 300 level. I can't really remember the occasion, but that's when I realized that zoology is not really the end of things. I could actually diversify. And then back at my department at that time, there were 4 areas we could diversify to or specialize into. Sorry. So it was parasitology, environmental toxicology, and pollution management. And then something about conservation, I think natural conservation and entomology. At that point, I just knew I wanted to specialize into environmental toxicology. And then we started having more specialized courses. So my interest peaked. I started doing really well. I was getting A's and B's because that was when I realized that zoology was not the end of the things. And then my GPA started to rise 2.84, 3.15, 3.51. And that was how I was able to finally graduate with my second class upper. So next slide. So I end my BSc degree, but I knew that opportunities increase with specialization and advanced degree. And because I really liked ecotox, I just said, oh, I was just going to get my master's immediately I finished school. It was a no-brainer for me. So after my NYC, I enrolled into school. I knew that if I do this, it will deepen my expertise, it will increase my marketability, and it will even unlock senior research positions. And it was when I was in my MSc, I remembered very vividly there was one lecturer that took one course that were 822, Professor Otitology. It's environmental standards and regulations. It was a tough course for some reason because imagine an exam that it's an open book exam. Just bring your books, bring the standards, and check it. That's if you know what you are looking for in the exam. It was tough and I loved it. But on one occasion, he was talking about the Federal Ministry of Environment, having all the environmental regulatory power in Nigeria. And then he said the Federal Ministry of Environment is the statutory body responsible for approving environmental projects. He said that was statutory. And then that's when I realized that I really wanted to work in regulatory. I wanted to work in the Ministry of Environment. I wanted to have the power that I'll be sitting in an office and people will submit applications and I'll have to review it. If maybe I don't give you an approval, you can't go on with your environmental project. It was at that point I knew what I really, really, really wanted to do, even in the specialized environmental field. And then I got my master's degree. I applied for in the public service in the Ministry of Environment, and to God be the glory, I was able to get into that sector. But it didn't stop there. Even while working in the Federal Ministry of Environment and later the National Biosafety Management Agency, I understood that I needed to see further. Like I really wanted to read medicine. I wanted to be called doctor. And then I also still wanted to specialize in my course. So I enrolled for my doctorate in the University of Abuja. I can hear some echo. Sorry, it's quite distracting. And then I was able to also bag that degree in environmental biology. And when I came to Canada, I tried to still get into the public sector, into regulatory, but it was quite difficult. So I spread my tentacles wide. I applied for jobs in other private sectors, and I got a job in environmental consulting, which I am completely enjoying at this time. So, what are the lessons learned? Next slide, please. I understood, however, very lately that zoology is not a narrow degree. The path was not clear, but it meant that it was flexible and it was full of opportunities. And then I also learned that you can actually pivot to many fields because new fields emerge at the intersection of disciplines. So some of the exciting careers that we have today, they didn't exist before. They were created at the intersection of two fields, like where two fields meet. So, for example, when you combine environmental science and you combine data analytics, for example, it creates roles in environmental data science. And that's when you start hearing things like environmental data analyst, climate modeler, geospatial analyst. So apparently you can specialize into new fields. You just have to do your research, you have to be creative. So I learned that zoology actually didn't train me to work with animals, but what it did is it equipped me with different skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills that were essential for me to open doors. So, when I was in the lab in my undergraduate years and I was dissecting maybe a lizard or a cockroach, I was wondering, how would this actually benefit me? But what it did is it built my attention to detail skills, it built my observation skills, teamwork and collaboration, because we'll have lab with maybe microbiological students and students from other courses. So it built my teamwork and collaboration skills. For all the mini assignments we did, for all the seminar presentations we had, what happened is it built my critical thinking skills, it built my problem solving skills, scientific research, it built my investigation skills. So I was able to learn so much from just the course, really. So it's a foundation. No matter the course you have now, whether it's zoology, botany, microbiology, or any course, it's not a limitation. It's a foundation and it's just a starting point. Next slide. So what are the career possibilities that you may possibly have? I just have the right on my screen. You can be an environmental scientist, like I am right now, environmental consultant. You can be a conservation scientist or a biologist. You can be a wildlife biologist if you like animals. You can be a parasitologist, epidemiologist. I have colleagues that, as at the time I was working in the National Biosafety Management Agency, they were working in the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, and one of them even got a higher job to work in the African Center for Disease Control. And then sometimes we come for programs together. You can work as an environmental policy analyst, as a regulator, a regulatory scientist, an ecology, a climate policy analyst. Like it's a plethora of possibilities, really. You just have to know what you really like and do a research. Yeah, so So what's next slide? What are the insights to building your path? This webinar is focused on the pathway to career fulfillment. One thing, very important thing for me is if I want to advise anybody, I would say seek internship and field experience. When you go to the school, your classroom learning gives you knowledge, but nothing beats hands-on knowledge. Like when the knowledge you get from internships or field experience, those are the ones that give you direction, and then you really know whether this is what you want to delve into. Volunteer projects, community, professional societies, they all connect you with mentors, collaborators, and even future employers. So it is when you are in this space, you begin to understand what you really, really, really enjoy. Is it research? Is it consulting? Is it regulatory? Is it field work? The internships actually help you to build relevant skills that employers would value. So apply for internships early. Some of them are short term, some of them are unpaid, but they help you to build skills. Another point for me is keep building capacity, keep learning. Because career growth is not actually a one time effort, it's like a continuous process of capacity building, capability building. And it means developing your skills, like developing your technical skills, strengthening your analytical thinking skills, and also improving other soft skills like leadership, communication. You don't have to learn everything at once. Just stay consistent, keep growing. For me, curiosity. It's also really important because it pushes you to ask questions and explore new fields. For me, I didn't actually know that I would be an environmental science project manager because right now I'm an environmental scientist and a project environmental project manager. Until I came to Canada and I saw that environmental project management is actually a thing. And then I studied, I looked into it, I took the exam, and I became a certified project manager. Now I am an environmental PM and I manage a variety of projects, environmental projects. I work with different clients and I'm continually building my capacity. So attend short courses, attend take short courses, attend seminars and learn from others. It actually adds value. The another point I want to talk about is networking. Many opportunities, they don't just come for what you know, they come from who you connect with and who you learn from. I know in Nigeria, connection is everything, but even here in Canada, connection is everything too. Before I got the job I got in, I'd reached out to somebody on LinkedIn who was working in the same organization. And then I don't think we chatted for more than 5 minutes. But when I was applying for the job, I put the person's name as a referee. So I said I knew the person. And next thing you know, I was already invited for an interview and I was able to secure the job. So connection is really, really key. So join professional organization, leverage LinkedIn, leverage networking events, join student societies. When I was in University of Lagos, there was a society called SETPOM, which I joined, Society of Environmental Toxicology and Pollution Management, and they would organize annual seminars, and then you get to meet people in the field that can actually share their experience with. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, reach out to your lecturers, reach out to people that you want to have conversation with. Those can actually spark ideas and help you shape your path. So in summary, as you navigate your journey, it's important to avoid comparison. This was one thing that really made me sad because I was looking at my friends in medicine, my friends in mass comm. But please avoid comparison at this point. Just focus on your path because everybody's timeline is different. When you compare yourself to others, it can actually distract you from making good progress. Celebrate small wins. And anytime you take courses, there are free courses on Allison, Udemy, ILX. When you take courses, recognize that you've done something good because every progress is what's recognizing. Stay consistent. When it gets tough, that sometimes you feel all these things I'm doing is not even yielding anything. So those moments of doubt and slow progress would come, but consistency is what builds momentum over time. So yeah, Just know that feeling uncertain is completely normal, especially when you're trying to figure out your career path. But know that your dreams are achievable. Every experience adds value, even the ones that you don't think they are significant at that time. So be persistent, be open-minded, and new paths will unfold. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing your inspiring journey and words of insight, Dr. Ounde. Now, for our next presentation, join me as we welcome Dr. Idowu Aneyo. Now, she is a lecturer in the Department of Zoology, Ecotoxicology, and Conservation Biology Unit at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. She holds a Bachelor of Science, a Master of Science, and a PhD degree in zoology and environmental toxicology from the University of Lagos. Her research focuses on environment on environmental and forensic toxicology, pollution monitoring, and emerging contaminants and public health risk assessment. She has authored over 20 peer reviewed publications and co authored academic texts in the biological sciences. Dr. Anaya has received several national and international research grants and is actively involved in capacity building, research mentorship, and science communication. She serves on the board of trustees of the Society for Environmental Toxicology and Pollution Mitigation, SETPOM, as Ms. Onwude mentioned before. And she is also a member of professional bodies, including the American College of Toxicology, ACT, and the International Association of Forensic Toxicologists. She's passionate about sustainable development, youth empowerment, and advancing environmental health through research and education. Again, join me as we welcome her for our second presentation today.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the platform. Well, good morning, everyone. Once again, or good afternoon from Nigeria. And I believe everyone can hear me clearly. And I sincerely want to thank Joy for that beautiful um, presentation about your experience in the zoology field. My story is not too much different from yours, but like I mentioned, I was told this morning. Well, I'm a lecturer from the Department of Zoology in Unilag, and I'm delighted to be here today. And at the same time, not as a lecturer, but I'm not as a researcher, but as someone just like you, like a student feeling uncertain about their future, wondering about what opportunities a zoology degree could provide. But before I move on, I'll, I want to share about my own experience um, about like a young girl, you know, like you have. My dream was also to study medicine and surgery, like every other person in zoology. If you ask 90% of the zoology students currently, even as of today, about their dream course, they can never tell you that zoology cannot be even part of their dream at all. But sincerely, I can tell you that zoology has been a blessing to me, particularly. And, when I put in for JAM and my course, I put in for medicine and surgery, but and I applied for medicine and surgery, but my cost was not enough to secure admission into the program. So I was given a choice. In fact, about four choices that I should pick from microbiology, from cell biology and genetics, botany, and also zoology. And I was so confused. What kind of courses are these for crying out loud? But I cannot remove God factor from my story, sincerely. And I had to I went to God, that God, I am confused. Just help me. And I felt so strongly to choose zoology. And I came in, I met with the then Dean, Professor Oluwafemi. That was in 2003. And the man told me that, don't worry, just go on with the zoology course. And if you are able to, he gave me a benchmark that if you are able to maintain this CGPA, then I can transfer you to medicine and surgery. But after the year, I was able to, you know, to even surpass the benchmark. And I went to him. But before I go to him, I had to go and pray, and what God just told me was that just stay where you are, stay where you are. And I decided to stay in zoology. I want to tell you that on your way, you feel so many, a lot of people want to talk you down, like what Joyce said. But one of the things is that you have to remain strong and you have to be determined. You have to know what God wants for you sincerely because on the path of success, there's going to be lots of up and down, but sincerely, you must be strong and you must believe in yourself. Because, and one thing I always tell my students is that zoology, like any other course, is just a platform for you to for you to be able to compete with any other person, whether in medicine, whether in any kind of course that you can think of. So you must be determined. So I title my own my presentation that from uncertainty to purpose. From uncertainty to purpose. As a zoology student, one thing you have to know is that your degree is you have to see your degree as a launch pad, and you must always dare to dream. You have a dream, pursue your dream. You must be resilient. You must build. You must take time to grow. You must be open as a woman. Then you must always build skills. And I know that Joy emphasized so much on that. Please, I'm hearing some echo, some feedback. So, and another thing is that you you must also learn to move outside the wall of classroom. You must identify society, even as a student. There are lots of societies that you can be part, and try to connect with other researchers who are successful in that career path, and they would help you to grow. They will support your growth and all of that. Then you have to also be determined. You have to be able to design your success. So, um, one thing I want you to know is that your degree is not your limitation. It is your launch pad. That is one thing you have to know. So, as a zoologist, one of the big misconceptions about zoology is that it only leads you to teaching or to a laboratory work or to feeding animal. In fact, one of my uncle told me then when he asked me, Heidi, what course are you studying at the University of Lagos? I said zoology. He said, what? Do you want to go and be feeding animal in the zoo? But I can tell you that today I am not feeding animal in the zoo. I am fulfilled in my career and I am good where I am. So you must not allow this misconception to rule you. So one thing is that when I started my career, I also discovered that zoology equips us with transferable skills, like what Joy mentioned, especially at the University of Lagos. You know, you realize that it's with your critical thinking. Zoology builds problem solving, people reason with how God described zoology for me at the early part of zoology as a tree. Other careers like microbiology, cell biology, that gave me that. Oh, so zoology by every other thing. Decide to and want to be able to you can leverage on whether that you have to realize that your career you have to take it very seriously. that this course you are doing form for you to do anything. So please don't be discouraged. Thank God that Joy was able to initially, but thank God to pick it up. Some may not realize on not be able to that you build that company well, be best in what you do, build your career, and we are in the world of we are in the world of, so you remain where the experience failure. You must see those setback, rejection, and amount to it.
Hello, it's breaking up, Dr. Grace. Is it also you? I think it's from Dr. Joy. Hey, Dr. Anaya, rather. Can we let her know so that she might check her
Dr.
internet?
Idowu, yeah. Can you switch to the other one, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you again now, but we had a break in transition.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but there was a break initially.
I know, I saw that. I'm using two. Let me off one now. The
Yeah.
second one is back.
Then what slide are you on? Because I could bring up the slides now. I think
Slide 3.
3 still on 3, okay.
Yeah.
I can
Hello?
hear. Dr. Rami, can you hear over
I
there
hope
now?
I can go on.
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Go on.
Okay. Okay, so you must, I hope I'm not echoing since my others. Sorry, I want to check.
No, you're good. We're not having echo.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
So you must to have self-development in life. So how today is just only a chapter, not the entire. I must know that my current situation will come and go. My final state, my final destination is the most important to me. So then another thing that you also need to is this word. Employers they are increasing reward skills. People reward skills now rather than always tell my students that if your certificate appear today, what skills will you still make able? What skill will make you valuable? Build skills. And there are several platforms. There are several platforms that you can learn different skills. So don't just sit on your certificate. It is good. It's very what to do. Three things are important: the skills, the attitude, and knowledge. Have the right knowledge, you must build skills, and you must have the right attitude. You must have the right attitude as as a student. So please, this platform are available for build your skills, whether digital skills, skills, networking, data analysis. Data analysis is very important. And if you want to come into academia, grant writing is a skill. You must also build your communication skills. So all of these things, you whatsoever that you are interested in as as a student, you can do it now that you still have luxury of time as students. So keep accumulating, keep building different skills. And thing is that you have to dare to dream. You dream beyond the traditional career path. Dream beyond the way you can see yourself. Me, I'm in the field of environmental toxicology and forensic. As an undergraduate, I came in as zoology. I developed interest for some people, develop interest in parasitology and bioinformatics. It can be in conservation biology or entomology and pest control. But my interest then was in like joy. But as I progressed in my career, I realized that I started developing interest in forensic, even as a zoologist. So I realized that I can use my knowledge of zoology to go zoologist. Uh, Details of this interest, said, can determine the day, time these crops have been neglected. So you can see how you find the knowledge, your knowledge in legal. So don't just think that zoology is just there and nothing you can do. In environmental toxicology, go into it. If you have interest, for instance, if you have interest in short interest in medical, you can still go in public health, technology. You can informatics, AI platform to predict how interactions of things that go out, interactions of pollutants or what in the environment. Then at the same time, if you want to go into policy, that once you have your interest, then have to be consistent. You must be consistent. You must look for relevant societies. Don't say that I'm still a student, I don't need society. No, at that society, you'll be able to network, you'll be able to get mentors, people. Your ideas will be open when you go for conferences, when you go for both local. You can start from your locality. Don't you can't jump. So you can start from your maybe from your area there, or you can decide to move to other part of Nigeria. And if you have opportunity, by the time you start having mentors, your mentor can guide you on how to apply for other international societies. Then when they are having conferences, you can decide to go for the conference. So from there, and most of these international society, they have free membership for students. And if you know that there are some will not give you free membership. But what I do is that I write letter, I write email. I cannot pay. And in most cases, they waive my membership dues for me almost every year. American College of Toxicology, I don't pay. I am pay. Every year, I give them reason to pay. As a researcher from the global. Then, as women, we must support one another. That is why I'm here. That is why we have people like Joy. You have several people. She mentioned must learn to leverage on the social media. And one of the professional platform is the LinkedIn. Most people they use TikTok, but I know that most of the young want to use must learn to must register on the LinkedIn, to meet. Then from there you can build relationship. Is very important. You have to seek mentors. You know, you become. They will help you in your journey. You share your journey to light the way for others. So several to help you. So you can identify some to them. If they are lazy, they can to take you in and see. And one of the things is that if it's not a lazy to multitask because your responsibility is cool. At the same time, you are also building your career. So you must be able to multitask so that one will not affect the other. So internal network I have mentioned, you have to also identify in your career, then and so on. And in science, you can also decide to. So there are women who are also they've gone through the that you won't make the kind of error that they made. Everybody has a success story. So you must also have a plan, you must have a vision, you must find where you want to be. So not just on paper, so it's okay. So you must identify skills to build, you must have to be able if you have the right mind. Me to continuously learn, you must be open to learning. We are in the era of
We lost you again, Dr. Anayo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost you again. Well, I think you're almost rounding up anyways.
I think my other network is misbehaving. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you again now.
Okay, thank you. So, never allow, like I mentioned that you must have a networking plan. You have to map out who you need to connect with. Who you need to connect with. So, which is very important. So I will round up with this, that never allow temporary challenges to make a permanent decision on your future.
Thank you so much. I
You
think
carry knowledge. Hello.
Hello, yeah. It's breaking, so we thought
Sorry,
you are.
my
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Anayo. We really appreciate that section.
that okay. Thank you. So
Thank you so much. Miss
I'm
Moderator can
here
take
for
over.
questions.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you again, Dr. Anaya. You shared a lot with us today, and we appreciate it. And now, for our third and final speaker of the day, let's welcome Mrs. Toluwani Opayewa Omomo Eze, a public health professional and healthcare program coordinator with approximately 9 to 11 years of experience across Nigeria and Canada, including roles with WHO, FHI 360, the Nigerian Air Force, and MGIC in program coordination and public health support. She currently works with Cancer Care Manitoba, where she leads initiatives focused on improving access to cancer care, education, and navigation for First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and rural communities. She's passionate about health equity, Indigenous health and engagement, and building culturally safe, community driven healthcare solutions. She's recognized for her collaborative leadership, empathy, and commitment to improving health outcomes through meaningful partnerships. Once again, let's welcome her as she speaks for us today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Toluwani Omomo Eze, just like I've been introduced, and it's a privilege to be here. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'll start my. I'm sorry I don't have a PowerPoint here with me, but I'll start my story with my journey. I started my first degree in Nigeria with biochemistry from Covenant University, and that was definitely not my first choice, but that was what I had to, start with. And it wasn't easy my first year, second year. I believe it was in my third year I began to see clarity on what I could do. And at that time, I settled for toxicology. And after I was done with my degree, one of the few things my supervisor at that time encouraged me to go do my master's in toxicology. And I was on that path of trying to secure my master's in toxicology, and then I realized this might not just be for me. I liked it at that point in time in school, but I did not see it as a career path. And then, of course, my mates had graduated. Um, Most of them moved into the financial space, but I just knew the financial space wasn't for me. So as I saying those stories, I'm going to be telling you the lessons I learned that way. So I learned that was not my, like, sometimes it might look like you don't know what you're doing, but you do. So I stuck to what I wanted. One of the things that drove me, or my driving force, is I just wanted to help people. And I didn't see myself doing that the way I wanted to in the financial space. And then I kept thinking, so what do I do if I'm not doing toxicology? Because I did an internship in a medical laboratory and I saw that was not for me. I didn't want a monotonous lifestyle, having to do the same thing over and over again every day. And I asked myself, I want to help people, I want to have impact in the outcome of their lives. What do I do? And an opportunity came for me during my NYSC. That was the turning point for me. So during my NYSC, I happened to work in a hospital, and wasn't the hospital aspect that gave me the ideas of where I am now, but there was a particular department for people living with HIV/AIDS. And even though I wasn't assigned to that place, I picked interest in it, not just in speaking to the people, but also everything that happened there, the reporting, the analytics. That was when I knew a lot about HIV/AIDS during that period. And after my NYSC, I had an opportunity again to volunteer. So I volunteered in a department that handled people again living with HIV, because then it had piqued my interest. And my first role, I'll call it, was an adherence counselor. So I was, speaking to people living with HIV/AIDS, making sure they were on the right regimen. And after that, I met someone who had her master's in public health, and that was the turning point for me. So she explained public health to me, and like with these ideas that you have with what you like to do, I think the direction you're looking at is public health. And I went back and I read about public health, and immediately I had an interest in it. And my goal when I was getting my master's was like, I didn't want an MSc in public health. I wanted a master of public health degree. And that happened. I applied to the prestigious University of Ibadan. And even though I didn't have a medical degree, because at that time, for the I'll say for the department I wanted to go to, I needed a medical degree. I had experience from volunteering. So that's another thing we should all look at. Always try to volunteer. When you see yourself not having what to do, or you're applying for roles when you finish from school, or even during your holidays as a student, try to volunteer. They might not pay you. You might feel like, oh, I'm not doing so much. But trust me, those volunteering experiences build up over time and count as something when you need it the most. So my volunteering experience helped me to secure that master's degree admission at University of Ibadan. And during that time, I had the opportunity to do an internship with Family Health International, FHI 360, for 3 months. And once I was done with school, I had an opportunity to work briefly with the WHO on polio eradication project. I believe you could remember a few years back when they declared Africa polio free. So the team that came to Nigeria, I was part of the people who went to different states to ensure that truly it's polio free. So having done that, I got back to Lagos, and I was thinking to myself, what else do I want to do? And it came to me again, volunteer. I volunteered my skills at the same thing, a department in the hospital of people living with HIV/AIDS, to do their reporting for them and their data analytics. All these skills I had learned over time, from my degree with biochemistry, in writing report, researching. I took all these skills and they helped me in that particular volunteer role. Now, that volunteer role transcended into being my first real job. And that's how it started for me. And I was in charge of, again, coordinating patients, ensuring they're following their treatment regimen, and also doing like a bit of health promotion. So going out into communities and talking more about HIV/AIDS in communities. I took it a step further during my, I'll say during when I had the time, I would go to secondary schools and talk a bit on health promotion. I focused on sexual and reproductive health for adolescents. So in Lagos, I went to a couple of secondary schools to talk to them about sexual health and reproductive health, as it's not something that is often talked about. And having just those little bits of things, like I said, adds up in the end on your resume. And then that added up for me. I had the opportunity to work with MGIC. So that is the University of Maryland in the US. They have an NGO called Maryland Global Initiative Corporation. They came to Nigeria during the height of the COVID-19. And because I had that experience with WHO, that experience with FHI 360, they were looking for someone to do what they called pharmacovigilance. So that is going to vaccination sites and ensuring what we say, or what Nigeria said they were doing was what we're actually doing, and getting feedbacks from people who came to be vaccinated on, the vaccine, for people that had taken like their first dose, coming for second dose, the effect that it had on them. So things like that. So I did that for a bit, and then the opportunity came for me to relocate to Canada. So all this experience over time added up to, and let me just go back. I was still working that my other job was working with people living with HIV/AIDS and also doing this pharmacovigilance. So I had built a robust, I'll say, wealth of experience in different pieces of public health sector. So I'd done I would say I'd done something on disease prevention. I had handled like stakeholder engagement, coordination with people. I'd been a support um, for people treatment. I had done like community-based public health implementation and supervision. I was involved in data analysis, public health planning. So all this added up in my resume over time. I remember I told you my focus anytime I am advancing is what is my goal, which is to help people. And then over time, I was able to redefine that helping people to allowing people have better health outcomes, whichever way I can. And so this now brings me to another point. I know like so many people have the like it's good to network, but I one of those people who am more of an introvert when I go out. So networking with people, I could go somewhere. I might attend the event and just, be on my own, maybe speak to just one person or two people, and then I'm done. But then with the advent of, social media and then LinkedIn, it helped me to be able to reach out to people because of the fact that I'm not seeing them in person, made it easier for me to, you know, message people that I considered maybe mentors in the field that I was in, and get to hear their feedback on certain issues and then build that rapport with them over time. And that really helped me. So if, say for example, I know Dr. Aneyo and Dr. Joy had spoken about networking, going for events, but just say for example you fall into the category like I did, go on social media, go on LinkedIn and find people in that particular niche that you want to be in, and then ask them relevant questions. That's the word, relevant questions. Ask them if they can mentor you. Sometimes the conversations that you have with them virtually would then build to that, in-person meeting up with them. And over time, another skill that helped me greatly is I would say presentation. So from school, from my BSc degree, I was always presenting. And then going for my master's degree, public health, is all about enlightening people. So I had lots of presentation in school and outside school. And that helped again to build more robust confidence in myself in, speaking with people, redefining my speech, on what I wanted to say. And then coming down here to Canada, it felt like I was starting my life afresh. But the experience that I had previously, even the ones that I didn't consider so much as an experience, I would say, oh, probably because I volunteered. My first role that I got was as a result of that volunteering that I did. Some of the skills that I had in on that particular year was something that they needed here, and I was able to get my first job, and it was in the public health space. And that transcended to my second job, which I am in currently. So now, one thing again I would like to highlight is as you leave school, for those who are leaving, or if there's anyone leaving applying for roles, when you apply for a role and then you get a feedback from someone, or you applied for or you did not get that role, I would say that it's nice if you can reach out back to them, letting them know if any opportunity arises that they should please, inform you about further opportunities, because that's what led to my second role. I would say 5 lessons that my career has taught me so far is your first degree does not define your final destination. Starting with biochemistry, if anyone had asked me in 2008, if or 2007, while I was still in school, if I was going to be in public health, my answer would have been no. But that first degree gave me skills that brought me to where I am today. And in every role, both volunteering roles and jobs that they actually get paid for, always take your transferable skills. It might be something that looks like, oh, it's just normal thing, like you're organized, you know how to plan your day, plan your time. Those are skills that are very useful in certain roles. Never overlook any single skill or any opportunity that you have. Another thing I want us to also know is that public health is not just about the programs, like the or what they do, it's majorly about the people. So anytime you find yourself in an opportunity to make an impact in the life of people, take it as that. I'm being impactful, and not okay. This program feels like a little big, maybe something as easy or as vaccination of children. Like, maybe it's just vaccination program. There's nothing to it. If you think of it that way, you're thinking of it small. But if you're thinking about it as in the idea of, oh, I'm making sure these children get like their diphtheria vaccines or their BCGs, and then thinking about how you are enlightening people along the way, it gives you more understanding of what you're doing. And just like I said, relationships matter a whole lot. The relationship to build with people matters a whole lot in how, I'll say how far you grow, but how well you grow. So have continuous learning opportunities. Take every opportunity you can get. Most times you see schools that have certificate programs. Take those certificate programs if you can, or go on Udemy and take those courses, or Coursera. Always try to develop yourself. Give yourself maybe a target of, okay, I need to have one professional, if you can, in a year, just one. Maybe one of those courses that maybe just takes like 18 hours. Take one of them. And with the advent of, AI and technology, there's a whole world to explore. Sometimes what I do is that I just pick a topic on and then go online and try to expand my knowledge on it. Public health has evolved over the years, and it's not just working in the hospital. No, public health now has like different I'll say different pedestals. So you could be working in healthcare administration, you could be working in research, you could be working with an NGO, you could be working as a program and project management expert, just like I am. You could be working with community health. So don't see public health as I'm just going to be in the hospital or healthcare. But remember, policies are made that guide the health of the people. So you can work as a policy analyst, I had that role at a point in Lagos for 2 years. So that is something that we can all do. There's global health. So don't limit yourself saying, oh, with public health, I might just find myself working in a hospital. No. Even if you're working in a hospital, your role is not in that hospital. Your hospital is just like a space, an office space. Most times for people in public health, their workspace is actually the people and the community, going out into communities primarily. And then over time, as you grow, it can involve, health administration, research, like I said, managing of those projects or those programs, having international development and all that. So that's some of the things I would say that I have gained from my journey with public health. Please ensure you make connections with people as much as you can. If not in person, do that also virtually. Don't limit yourself. The point is keep making those connections with people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Toluwani. You said a lot today. And again, thank you to all our speakers today. They've given us like lots of insights and their messages. And now I just want to pass it to the audience if you have any questions for any of our speakers today that you would like to be addressed. So just raise your hand if you have any questions.
Anybody with a question? Just raise your hand and then is there anyone? For now. All right, let's go ahead. It's no question for now, Dr. Grace. I hope you can hear me. You can go ahead. You have a question? Okay, there's one.
Okay.
Someone said earlier about so I don't know if you can recommend sites that we can have access to internship.
Okay, so the question is how can they get internship opportunities?
Okay, I'll just pass the question to any of our speakers who want to answer that today.
Can I?
Of course, let's have Miss Wu give her.
Okay. One of the ways is that some companies they call for internship, so you can apply. The internet is so large, but it is what you are looking for that you get. So number one is you can identify research area or areas in which you are interested in, and you try to follow companies in that research field. And at a particular point, they also call for internship, and some may not even call for internship. But once you identify, go and identify different NGOs, different industries, and apply to them. Just apply to them as a student that you want to have an internship or so. And once you write to them, you get a feedback. If they have interest, if they have space, they will tell you to come. And if they don't have space, they might even keep, but anytime there's an opening, they can reach out to you. So you can write to any company and you will get response. And if not, you can also call for internship, then you apply. So always look out for such information on internet. And I also want to emphasize that it is good for you to go and register on the LinkedIn and follow some of these things. They post opportunities on a daily basis on the internet. Then you can also reach out to some of your lecturers. Like for me, I guess pay research, I mean internship for some of my students, and they get internship. But I don't know much about Oyekiti. But if it is Lagos, there are so many companies that you can write to them and If they have space, they will let you know. If not, they can get in touch with you in future. Thank you.
Can I also add something? I can't see the raise your hand feature on my screen, but let me just add, in addition to what Dr. Anayo said, which are really beautiful points, another way you can get internship as soon as they come out is to leverage the use of AI. So, I mean, if you've researched on your area of specialization and you want to go into a particular field deeper, you can just ask Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude, what are the available internships now? What companies are taking applications for internship in this field at this time? And then it can give you a list if it's open, if it's closed, when the deadline is approaching, and all of that. So that's in addition to what Dr. Anaya said. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answers. And now I'll just have one question for each of the panelists before I pass it on to Dr. Lua Devi. So, Dr. Anayo, how can students make themselves competitive for postgraduate scholarships?
Okay. Hello.
Hello?
You said how can students
Make themselves competitive for postgraduate scholarships.
Okay. Like I mentioned that your certificate, your BSc certificate is just a platform for you to be able to try. One of the things is students need to pay attention to is acquiring skills in data analysis skills. In Nigeria we are so used to contracting so many things out. Like for student project, they would take it to a data analyst to analyze for them. But one of the things that they look out for in scholarship is that what are the other skills that make you to stand out from every other student. So as a student, as a zoology student or as any field, you must build skills that will set you apart, like data analyst. You have to have skills, how to, like, let me say, for instance, if you for data analysis, you can decide to pick on R and be competent in that on that platform. So you may decide to concentrate on one, you may decide to concentrate on two, but the most important thing is that you build those skills. Then writing skills too is very important. Research skills. Most students can be lazy, but you must, because now you are competing with so many people, you must build your research skills. Joy mentioned something that when she was an undergraduate, when she was dissecting, maybe giving a lizard to dissect, and you begin to wonder that, oh, of what benefit is this lizard? Those things can be annoying. But you know what? There is also a skill. Dissecting is a skill. Paying attention, researching on a particular thing for a certain period of time, is a skill that you need to build. Like I mentioned to my students, I always tell them that if I get your transcript and I see that you have all A's in courses, in coursework, but in your research work and seminar, you're having a C, I'd rather go for a student that has B in coursework and then having A in research and seminar, because your research actually define who you are. Your ability to be able to solve problems, to be able to reason and bring about solutions to problems. So research skill too is another very vital skills that a student need to also pay attention. And there are several of them like that that you need to pay attention to. Your writing skill is there. You must learn to write, you know, beyond, nowadays students are so lazy to read, to go online, download textbooks and read. Rather, they will go on ChatGPT and give you, and once I tell my students that ChatGPT has a language, and as lecturer, as a researcher, once I see a document, even without turning it into a Turnitin, I know if it is a ChatGPT document or not. So you must learn to go online, download scholarly journals to read and to be able to now write in your own word. So writing skill is very important. So they look out for all of these, even in your SOP and so on. So let me give room for others to speak.
Okay, and now for our next question and a quick answer, we have Dr. Onwude. How can students transition into environmental consulting and sustainability careers?
Well, for me, I would say, all the speakers have actually mentioned to getting hands-on experience. It's really good to gain hands-on experience through internship, co-ops, and all of that. You can easily transition when you have gone through some of these internships, some of these volunteer positions, and when you've already also built technical skills, GIS skills, data analysis, and all of that, it's really easy to it's quite easy to transition. And then depends on the sector you want to transition to. If it's regulatory, you have to put in the work, understand environmental regulations. When I came to Canada, even though I was in regulatory back home, when I came to Canada and even in this private sector I'm working in, I needed to understand the provincial regulations, federal Canadian environmental regulations. So yeah, the list is endless. Network professionals gain hands-on experience by volunteering and building your skills. Then transition can be actually seamless.
Thank you again. And now for our final question, Mrs. Toluwani Omomo. Is pursuing a Master of Public Health worth it, and when should students consider it?
Pursuing the master's in public health is definitely worth it. And I won't say there's a set time because from my story, you see, it was not a linear progression. I had to like work, and then I discovered I could do this in public health. But I would say you could go directly from school if you have everything sorted out, knowing exactly what path you would like to follow, or you could, just say, I have a BSc in public health. Let me see what I can do with that. Let me know exactly what niche I want to be in and work for a bit and then do your master's in public health. Personally, I would say the experience would matter more before doing the master's in public health because for me, the master's in public health is just like to certify and say, oh, I know what I'm doing. I have the degree to do it as well as the skills to do it. Just as Dr. Joy has said, hands-on experience beats every other thing hands down. So a master of public health is important, especially if you're not in the field of public health at all. But if everyone on this call here has a BSc in public health, I would say you could build on what exactly niche you want to be in first and then get your master's in public health.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, thank you to all our panelists for everything that you said today, all our speakers. We enjoyed your presentation.